Yo, what's up? I'm Brian here, doing another video for you guys, and this time we're going to be talking about Transformers Studio Series for 2026. We have a whole bunch of listings, and take everything with a grain of salt. Things are subject to change, and, you know, anything could happen. But in this video in particular, we're going to talk about Studio Series, and then in the next video, we're going to talk about Age of the Primes, because there's a whole bunch of 2026 listings for that. So, starting off with this, it's gonna be a lot of the 86 movie, and we're also getting quite a bit of Transformers 1 stuff, but the main focus is gonna be the 86 film, which I know a lot of people don't like. There is a couple of live-action stuff, so that's good, but I think the main reason why we're getting a big push of the 86 line is, one, it's gonna be the 40th anniversary of the 1986 film, and two, apparently there's a rumor going around that they're going to wrap up the 86 line, which I'm totally okay with because it's just a lot of scraps from G1 at this point. So, you know, they've got the main cast from the 1986 film. In fact, they had to bring some of the molds from Generation into Studio Series. So, anyways, let's go ahead and start off with the Deluxe Class lineup. So this is going to be the A level. So, kind of like I think it was the Transformers 1 Optimus Prime and the Bumblebee that came out previously. Surprisingly, it's also the same characters. So this is going to be kind of like a shipment in between some of the waves. This is going to be the Deluxe Devastation Bumblebee. Now, I'm curious to see if that's going to be a new mold or if it's going to be another remold of something else. And I gotta say, I'm getting kind of tired of these Bumblebees. I mean, they just produced the Studio Series 86 one, while they also released the Walmart exclusive version of Bumblebee that was that Cliffjumper remold. So, I'm curious to see exactly what goes on with this. I'm curious to see about the size of it as well. But, yeah, I'm just not sure if I really need it. We also have a TFOne Orion Pax, so I imagine it's going to be a remold of the Optimus Prime that we already have. It's going to have probably a different head sculpt, maybe some subtle changes. Maybe it's not even going to have a matrix chamber. But yes, they're doing a Orion Pax. I'm curious to see if we'll get a D16 down the road. Next up, we have Transformers The Last Night. So yes, they are going back into that. I feel like there's a lot more that they need to do from Age of Extinction and The Last Night, considering that Age of Extinction at the very least came out 11 years ago now. But we have Barricade, and I think that's awesome. I actually really like that particular design for Barricade. I prefer the first movie one, but I really like what they were doing, especially with all the Easter eggs to that design to an actual cop. So for The Last Night Barricade, I definitely want that, especially considering that the original toy, I thought it was fine, but it definitely had a big panel sticking on its back, so I want to see an updated version of that toy. Next up, we have a whole bunch for the 86 line. These are all deluxes. We've got Windcharger, which is kind of surprising that they decided to go for Windcharger. He didn't really have that much of an impact in the film. I know that there's a lot of characters in 86 that, you know, are made into toys for Studio Series, but didn't really have an impact. But for Windcharger, it just feels kind of weird. I don't know. But that's what they're going for, and I'm here for it, because I've got every previous version of the Generations Windcharger, including the Universe Classics Windcharger. So to get another one, I think that's pretty cool, and I'm curious to see when it's going to be repainted into Tailgate. Anyways, next up we have Sunstreaker. Now this one we actually heard for quite a while that we were going to get a Sunstreaker down the road for the Studio Series 86 line. And I'm fine with that because the previous Sunstreakers, it's been a little tricky to get. I know there was that 5-pack, but do I really want another Jazz and a Wheeljack just to get a Sunstreaker and a Hound? Not sure. So yes, they're doing that, and as soon as they do it, I'm going to put it next to my Sideswipe. Anyways, next up we have Kranix, which is, I believe, one of the characters that were dumped in the Sharkticon pit in the original movie. So it's actually pretty cool that they decided to go for something like that. I think the only other figures that we've got for Kranix was just almost like a statue-esque thing. I know the Pit of Quintesson had a little statue figure for the Kranix, but for something that actually articulates, that's going to be pretty neat, and I'm curious to see what the alt mode's going to be. Also, we're getting an 86 Cliffjumper. Now, some people were upset that the Bumblebee that we got in the 86 line wasn't really more of a traditional Volkswagen. It was more like the Penny Racer, but even then, it was kind of a stretch. So I think the main reason why is they're going to change up the front of that Beetle to look more like the original Porsche, and they're going to change that into Cliffjumper. Just my guess, but I could definitely see that happening, especially considering that we already technically have an 86 Cliffjumper, so it'd be kind of weird. Anyways, moving on, we also have a Deluxe Class TFOne Thundercracker. This year, we're going to get a Deluxe Class TFOne Starscream, so it makes sense that we're getting a Thundercracker. I imagine eventually we'll get a Skywarp, but there's so many secrets that they could do. I would love to see Coneheads down the road, so I'm curious to see exactly where they're going to stop with these repaints. I mean, they could go on forever. They could also make exclusive packs, like the Decepticon Squad pack they made for Devastation. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But Thundercracker I always like because I like the blue color. Anyways, moving on, we also have a Deluxe Class TF1 Airachnid. Now, this one was kind of confusing to me because I thought Airachnid would be more suited for a Voyager class because, yes, she's a smaller bot compared to Sentinel Prime, but she's also got those big limbs going outside of her. So I'm curious to see exactly how they pull off a Deluxe Class toy. I'm not against it. I just thought that the Voyager class would leave enough budget for them to really solidify that mold. Anyways, moving on, we have Voyager class figures, and most of this is going to be the 86 line. We have Skywarp and Thundercracker as two different listings. So I imagine this, these are going to be repaints of the Earthrise, Thundercracker, and Skywarp. In fact, they could just be re-releases of the Thundercracker and Skywarp. I would like to see it be remolds of the Coronation Starscream so you could get that hand articulation, but either way, I'm fine with that because I did not pick up the Skywarp and Thundercracker. I never found the Earthrise 2-pack, so totally okay with that. Next up, we have a Voyager Class 86 Shockwave. So I'm curious to see if it's going to be the Siege Shockwave just without the armor pieces, and then it's going to have a more cartoonish color scheme. But I'm really hoping for something good. Maybe something cleaner compared to the original Siege Shockwave. I would like to see something new, but maybe that's a stretch with some of these other listings. And my camera decided to blow out, so that's bad. We'll just pretend that keeps going, and I'm just going to have some narration. Next up, we have TFOne Alpha Trion. So this one I definitely saw coming. I mean, it's a Voyager class, Transformers one. He's definitely a big part of the movie. We've got so many of the other characters, especially the ones he cogged up. So considering that Alpha Trion had a really cool alt mode, I'm really excited for this. Next up for the leaders, we have Soundwave, Astrotrain, Snarl, which is going to be a repack, and Nemesis Prime. We knew about those. I did a video previously. And then for the Studio Series 86, it says 30th anniversary line, but it should be the 40th anniversary line, so that's probably a typo. We've got re-releases of some of the previous figures. So we've got an 86 anniversary Deluxe Class Hound. So people who were upset about the Selects 5-pack, it seems like we're going to get Hound anyways as just a normal Deluxe. I'm not sure where this is going to be an exclusive to, probably Target. We'll just have to wait and see. Next up, we also have a Voyager Class Scourge. We also have a Voyager Class Hot Rod, and the reason why I'm pinning both of those together is because in the first wave of the Studio Series 86 line, we had a Scourge and Hot Rod. So they're just going to re-release those, probably touch up the paint job. I would love to see Hot Rod with the new pink deco. Maybe Scourge is going to have a deco that's more closer to the Decepticon Sweeps, where it's a brighter blue. We'll have to wait and see, but yes, the first two Voyagers are coming back. And then we also have a Leader Class Optimus Prime. So I imagine this is going to be the Earthrise Optimus Prime being repacked, maybe with a different deco. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I thought we were going to move on from the Leader Class Optimus Prime because we already have the Commander Class version. I never found the Commander Class one, but I know I have the Earthrise Optimus, so do I really need it? No, but I guess it's there. Anyways, again, I apologize for my camera just stopping. I don't know what to do about that. With that out of the way, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and all those fun doodads. And we'll see you guys next time.